When I think about my 10 years of being a full-time homemaker, I want to share the habits that just surround the best days. When I think about my best days as a homemaker, the days where I'm like, you know what, this is awesome, I love being at home, I can kind of drill it back to these habits, and I want to share these with you in case you're getting started on the homemaker journey, or maybe you've been on it for a while and you just need some fresh ideas. I think you're going to get at least one today. So hey, my name is Lana. This is Girl Teach Me. This whole channel is here to just help you level up as a mom, to help you step into the best version of yourself as a mom. And so if that resonates with you, I hope you'll stay and hit subscribe. And I say it in almost all of my videos, but if you're pregnant, I have a free class down below for you. I have distilled what I think are the things that helped me the most when it came to preparing for the birth that I wanted. I've had 6 natural births and I'm so grateful for those experiences. But when I think back, I know the Lord blessed it. I know He helped me, and He also helped me make some really key decisions that changed my birth experiences. I want to help you with that. The class is down below. The first one is start laundry and dinner early. On my best days, when I get up and I start laundry, just get it going. That first meaningful action of either sorting the laundry into piles, or I get it going and I try to work one load to completion. Those are the best days with laundry. When I ignore laundry and ignore laundry and ignore laundry, the laundry is still in the back of my mind. I know there's a pile downstairs in my basement. So when I tackle it, I look it in the eyes first thing in the morning, boom. That is one of the best habits I have. And dinner comes every day, guys. It might sound a little crude, but it's like a period. You know, it comes every month, unless you're breastfeeding like I am right now. And so just knowing dinner's coming, okay? And looking it in the eye and saying, okay, I'm going to get it started. I'm either going to pull out the meat to thaw. I'm either going to chop the veggies. I know the plan. I know what I'm going to feed my crew. On the days where I pretend that dinner is not happening, those are the days that really bite me in the butt. So starting it as early as you can, even right after breakfast. I know my grandmother, she just like makes a pot of soup like after breakfast, and anytime you're hungry, there's a pot of soup when you're at her house. It's just like standard. So just getting it going in the morning can be such a help for your mental load for the day, because whether you realize it or not, you're almost always subconsciously thinking about what's for dinner, because it's like the big question that rolls around at like 4:30 every day, and we'd rather have that answered as early in the day as possible. So I want to pause real quick. Tell me down below, what are your top homemaker habits? I want to hear what keeps your home running, what keeps you sane at home. When you have those good days where you're clicking as a homemaker, what's happening in your home? Leave all your wisdom down below. It is so meaningful for the moms who stop by. The next homemaker habit is to keep learning and growing skills that bless your home. And this looks different for every single person according to your interests, but what I'm going to tell you is going to light you up so much more as a homemaker is to be growing and learning in your skills, to not let it get stagnant and boring, to not just be trying to get through the day like I did when I had 2 kids. I would just go to the YMCA and just roll through the Starbucks drive-through, and it's like, how can I stay out of the house and just get through the day? I'm telling you, there is a better way. There's a more rewarding way. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with going to the Y and using the childcare. Do it. It's great. I'm not saying there's anything rolling through the coffee drive-through. Do it. That's great. But when we're procrastinating and kind of just like pushing off our responsibilities, I think there's a more rewarding way of like getting in the game and enjoying it. And so if you want to learn to sew, it's like taking homemaker courses. There's some awesome courses Farmhouse on Boone has. I'm taking her fermentation course right now and just learning how to make some fermented things at home. That makes homemaking more enjoyable. And you know, sometimes we think that habits have to be like a drudge. I don't think so at all. I think just keeping it more fun. There's actually a book by Ali Abdul called Feel Good Productivity, and it's true. Like, productivity at home can feel good, but what's going to make it feel good for you? Is it like going thrifting and making your home beautiful? Like starting to gain skills? Is it making bread? Is it doing ferments? Is it getting a little fancier on some techniques with cooking? Like, what is it that will get you more excited? I know for some moms, it's like, how can we get outside more? How can we go find that local or state park that we can go and explore together? Sometimes homemaking isn't being in the home all the time. It's also enjoying our kids and living like a rich life with our kids, a rich, meaningful, peaceful life with our kids. And so it's going to look different for everyone. Just saying, continuing to learn is a key homemaker habit. The next one is a signal to the beginning of your workday and the end of your workday, because here's the deal. Homemaking and motherhood doesn't really have clear edges. And when we do work without edges, it's important to kind of add the edge ourselves. And so laundry's never really done. Cooking's never really done. right? Exercise, not, taking care of ourselves, those things, they're never really done. And so just not pretending that I can check a box on motherhood, being okay with the fact that it's never ending, and that's okay. But for me, having like an edge is like putting on a real outfit or putting on my real shoes. I know some people would like do not wear their shoes in the house, and I totally get why. For me though, I have to put on some like tennis shoes or some shoes in the house because it just signifies like exercise or work to me. And so if you're kind of ick about that, you could have shoes you literally just wear in the house. But what I'm trying to say is that clicks my brain into go mode. When I'm barefoot, it kind of just feels like I'm still in like rest, coffee, chill mode. And then at the end of the day, it's putting the screens away. It's getting a shower and doing like my skincare stuff and laying down in the bed, like kind of landing the plane. It's going to be different for you, but what would be a great way to start your workday and then finish your workday as a homemaker? Because when we just go, like wake up and put our head on the pillow and we like never have any moments to kind of land the plane or take off, it can really lead to burnout, and it has to be an enjoyable ride. So for me, I recently read a fiction book that my sister recommended. It was so good. I'll leave it down below. But I just knew that I had been working too late in the night, mainly on YouTube, and I needed to find a way to start to land the plane. And so I just knew that if I had a good book to look forward to, I would get in the bed sooner. And lo and behold, I was going to bed at like 9:30 every night, which is what my body needs in this season. And so I knew I had to like hook myself in with something to look forward to, a little bit of pleasure. So just having a good book to look forward to can be a great way to end the day. The next homemaker habit is not to be too rigid, because here's the deal. Life happens and we want to welcome life, but sometimes if we get in a mode, we can get too rigid with our day where we're like time blocking and we're like, no, this has to happen at this time. That is so exhausting. It's not fun, and our kids don't like being rigid like that. Our kids like a flow to the day, but having like a hardcore schedule, it just feels like too boxy or too militaristic. And so I say just having a flow for your day, having an idea of where you want to go with your day, but also being open with what the Lord brings is really going to help so much with not feeling like a failure, and also just creating a more peaceful, enjoyable environment for everybody. I think the other side of that coin though is just being too flighty. I know that I have days where I am pushing off responsibility and I'm procrastinating and I feel a little bit flighty. And I'm like, okay, well, if anything comes about that could take me away from this work, like let's do it, because I don't want to do that this day. And I know there's recharge days. Like there are days where it is helpful for me just to swing through Chick-fil-A, grab some nuggets, and us go sit at the park and just be outside. Like some days I need that. But when I'm getting in the rut of that too much, I'm pushing off my responsibility. And in the back of my head, I still know there's a huge load of laundry. In the back of my head, I know that dinner's coming, and I know that we need to be doing some school and things like that. So it's just that when I get kind of flighty like that and I'm just on a whim doing this and that, and I'm not having like some clear boundaries with like, no, during this time we really try to do this, I usually get to the end of the day and realize I don't have much to show for my day, and I've piled today's work on top of tomorrow's work, and that's when it just starts to build up. So not being too flighty, I think, is a good homemaker habit. Kind of just going with the flow a little bit, but having a plan for where you want to go with your day. I think that's a good mix. The next one is just being a great gatekeeper. I learned this from the book Joy of Less. And one thing she says is sometimes it's not that we're buying a whole lot. It's not that we're not organizing it the best way we can. Sometimes our problem is being a good gatekeeper, because people want to give us their cast-offs or their hand-me-downs, which can be a real blessing. But when we know that we've reached max capacity and we haven't gone through the things that people have already given us, sometimes we're just adding more things to take care of when we don't really have the capacity. I think a good homemaker habit is knowing our limits and knowing when we need to be a good gatekeeper. For me personally, if somebody gives me something and I'm not quite ready to take it, but I know I want it, I leave it in the trunk of the car. I leave it on the porch. I do not let that thing come in my house until I am ready to sort through it, because I know just bringing it into my house and then my kids rummaging through it and finding what they want, even though I don't want to have what they want, that can really cause a lot of stress for me personally, because I think that every single item in our home is another thing we have to manage. And when we think about the amount of time that's going to take, it can feel like we can't breathe. And so being a good gatekeeper is a great habit for a homemaker. The next habit for being a homemaker, I talk about this a lot on this channel because it really unlocked unlocked so much for me in my early homemaking days is realizing that we do all of our work for an audience of one. If we are a Christian, just realizing we do all of our work for the Lord. Ultimately, He's our good master. It's not our husbands that we're doing the work for. It's not our kids necessarily that we're doing the work for. I know sometimes when we come from the working world, there's like somebody at the top we want to please. We want somebody to see our great performance, a performance review. And when we don't feel recognized for the good work that we do, we can just kind of get pouty about it. Like, well, you didn't see I did all this. You didn't see I did all the laundry. You think the laundry fairy just came? It's like, the Lord saw the laundry we did, and He is pleased with our good efforts to bless our family, and that's enough. It's enough to live for the audience of one. We don't have to strive for the praise of man because it's so fickle. The praise of man is so very fickle, and it's so much more rewarding to live for our Creator who sees all the hidden work that we did. I did a whole video about hidden work and just the value and importance of it. So when we can start to live for the audience of one, it's like boom. It's sometimes you realize how much of a free bird you are, and it can just light up all of homemaking, whereas before it could have felt like a drudge. It was a seriously huge 32-degree moment for me. Like, my husband and I say like 32-degree moments where the ice starts to melt. It's like things start to click. Is when I stopped living for the approval of my husband or the approval of others as a homemaker, and I started living for the approval of the Lord, because He knew my good days, my bad days. He knew the things I needed to confess, and ultimately He's worthy. Like, all of our work can be worship at that point. Doing dishes and laundry can be worship to Him, and it's not just a drudge or something that can be outsourced. And so that unlocked so much for me as a homemaker. And the last thing, and I think one of the more important things, is as a homemaker, it's very important to start to empower our kids to understand that they are going to be managing their own homes one day, and the most meaningful thing we can do for them is to equip them for the road ahead. Is sometimes we're character blockers for our kids. We don't want to put any responsibility on our kids. We don't want to let our kids experience any amount of suffering. But the Bible says that suffering leads to endurance, endurance leads to character, and character leads to hope, and hope will not disappoint if our hope is in Christ. And so sometimes we have to allow our kids to endure a little bit of suffering, and that looks like chores in my house. I mean, my kids do not look forward to it. They don't enjoy it at all, really. It's something they complain about. And yet, I know I'm being a good mom by putting a little bit of weight on their shoulders, age-appropriate weight, and letting that give them endurance and character and hopefully hope, so that when they leave their own house one day, it is not the struggle that it was for me. Because that is one of the things I look back on, is I was gone all the time. I was playing sports, and I have wonderful parents, and they did an incredible job, especially being young parents. But for me, I feel like it's really important that I equip my boys and girls on how to do laundry, on how to cook, on how to take care of the home. It is vital that they learn how to take care of themselves, how to do daily disciplines. And I don't need to block that character moment for them. And that's a good homemaker habit for me, because I'm not trying to do it all myself. But I think in the same hand, we have to be okay with slightly shoddy work at first. I mean, it's just not going to be done to our standard. And so really taking our hands off the wheel there and remembering more as a coach, like we wouldn't berate a kid for messing up a fly ball. In baseball, we wouldn't berate a kid who's learning how to catch. Like, why didn't you catch that? Why didn't you catch that? It's like, no, it takes time. It takes time. Sometimes our kids don't even have the motor abilities really to do that work at that level. And so just reminding us that we don't have to carry it all, that actually it's a huge blessing if we put a little bit of that weight on our kids, encourage them in it, coach them through it, but also, we really can little by little work ourselves out of some of our jobs, and then our kids can get great value and empowerment and confidence from being able to do some hard things. So I think it's a real blessing to our home and to our kids. So those are some of my top homemaker habits. Tell me what yours are. I'd love to hear from you down below. One of my favorite things is having you guys share your wisdom down below. It is so meaningful for me, and it is so meaningful to all the women who stop by and look at your comments. And if you want more resources, I want you to remember at girlteachme.com, I'm constantly putting out new blog posts over there, new recipes, and more help for the motherhood journey. So make sure you go check out the website, and I'll see you again in the next video.
It's so unnecessary dwelling about the past, 'cause I know that God is good. He led me to where I'm at. Sometimes I feel like giving up, you're giving in, but everything for a reason. It won't always be blue skies ahead. Sometimes you might need a helping hand. Just like iron sharpens iron, making me stronger, calling me higher. When we come together, just like iron sharpens iron, making us stronger, calling us higher. When we're helping each other, we're growing together.